out there in YouTube land. I just want to know which one of you turned the heat off on the rest of us here. These cold temperatures are ridiculous. But I guess no one told me to move to the mountains of Tennessee, now did they? Anyways, it's definitely a nice night to be by the fire here, making another video to expose another career criminal masquerading as a defender of our First Amendment rights. Now, this career criminal, a lot of people have been emailing me in the last couple of weeks asking me to do an expose on him, known as the Kennedy Walker Channel. He has been a convicted felon since the age of 14 and lies that he was once in law enforcement. Now, the Kennedy Walker Channel runs from state to state as his past catches up to him. And he has one definite open warrant and may have two as of today. I can't verify that until tomorrow morning, though. So I will do an update video if I find out. So go on out into your kitchen or pantry, grab yourself a bag of popcorn and something to drink. Pop that bag of popcorn up and sit back and relax for this wild ride, because we're about to board the crazy train of frauditing.
What you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come for you? Bad boys, what you gonna do? What you gonna do when they...
All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's get right into the lengthy criminal record of this guy, Kennedy Walker Channel, who wants to act like a professional victim of the system. But he's been making his own choices since he was at least 14 years old. If you didn't hate this guy before, you're definitely going to after this expose. So let's get right into his criminal history here. We're going to look at page number 1. And on 10/13/1998, at the age of 14 in Madison County, Idaho, he was hit with 20 charges all at one time. He had 13 charges for burglary, all felonies. He had 2 more charges for burglaries that were also felonies. He had a petty theft that was amended to a burglary that was also a felony. He had 2 grand thefts that were amended to burglaries, which were also felonies. He had a petty theft, which was a misdemeanor, and a grand theft, which was a felony. Now get this. Almost every charge was dismissed by the prosecution in a plea agreement to get him to plead to 2 of the burglary charges where he was found guilty, and he was given 60 days in juvenile jail. He was found guilty on one of the petty thefts that was amended to a burglary, and he was concurrent 60 days juvenile jail. Then we go down to the bottom, and the grand theft, which was a felony, he was found guilty, given 60 days in juvenile jail. All of that's concurrent. They're all running together. And a $2,640 fine and fees for probably his parents to pay if he was only 14 years old. Now we're going to go ahead to May 12th of 2002, where he was hit with 2 very minor charges as far as I can tell. Possession of tobacco by a minor and possession of alcohol by a minor. Charge number one, or count one, was dismissed, and charge number two, he was found guilty. He was given 1 year probation, 20 hours of community service. His driver's license was suspended for a year, and he had to pay $381 in fine and fees. Now, according to the record, he received a violation of probation on 8/5/03, but there was nothing listed after that as to what they did with him. So, and we're going to go ahead to November 7th, 2003. He got a traffic ticket for following too closely. He pled guilty, paid $53 fine with some fees. And we go ahead now to February 19th, 2004. He got hit with a criminal trespass, which was a misdemeanor out of Madison County, Idaho, and that was dismissed by the prosecutor. We go ahead just a week to February 26, 2004. He got charged with driving a vehicle without the owner's consent, which was a misdemeanor in Madison County, Idaho, and that charge was also dismissed by the prosecutor. Usually what happens is, as people, career criminals, you'll see in the beginning, they'll get a few charges dismissed, or they'll get some really bullshit dispositions. But then as they continue, you will see gradually that the placements and the fines and things like that, the probations will get larger. And that's exactly what happens with this guy. As we go ahead just 1 month to March 23rd, 2004, he was charged with possess controlled substance, frequenting a place that is used to manufacture, distribute, transport, deliver, or give away controlled substance. That's a misdemeanor out of Madison County, Idaho. He was found guilty. He was given 66 days in jail, 1 year unsupervised probation, and a $100 fine. And we go ahead about 15 months to July of 2005. He was arrested for possession of a controlled substance, a misdemeanor out of Madison County, Idaho. He was found guilty, given 180 days jail, 1 year probation, and an $80 fine. Let's see, on 2/24/06, he was found guilty of violation of probation and given a 290-day jail sentence. And we go ahead now 4 months to 11/28/2005. He was charged with battery and destruction of a telecommunications device during a domestic battery incident. Both charges misdemeanors out of Madison County, Idaho. He was found guilty. 180 days jail. That was 90 days were suspended, given 1 year probation. On 8/1/06, he was found guilty of a violation of probation and sentenced to the 180 days in jail. Now, we're going to go ahead to, we're going to go ahead to 12/13/2005, where he got a battery charge against, it looks like it's Trisha, but I'm not 100% sure. She was subpoenaed to court, but she didn't show up. That may be why it was a domestic kind of situation there. That was out of Fremont County, Idaho. He was found guilty, given a 180 days jail sentence, which was concurrent with his sentence in Madison County that he was already doing. He was given a $263 fine, which he still owes today. What's that, 19 years later? 29 years? No, 19 years later. 19 years later, still owes on that fine. All right, March 3rd, 2006, he's arrested for battery again. I don't know if that was a domestic situation or not, didn't really show. That was out of Madison County, Idaho. The judgment was withheld on that one after like a year and a half of playing around in the court system, but he was given a $300 fine. Then we go ahead to January 19th, 2007. He was arrested for use of a telephone to make a harassing or obscene phone call, which was a misdemeanor out of Fremont County, Idaho. He was found guilty of disturbing the peace He was given 30 days in jail, $272 fine that he never paid, and 2 years of unsupervised probation. That right there is really weird. Why would you take a guy that you've put in jail a few times, you've given him probation before, and then make his probation unsupervised? That one kind of threw me off, but is what it is. The judge does what he does. We're going to go ahead to January 8th, 2008. He was arrested for stalking in the first degree, a felony. Tricia was his victim. That's going to be a live-in person. Fremont County, Idaho, and a year and 3 months later, he got that charge dismissed by the prosecutor. Could be Tricia wasn't being very cooperative. We're going to go ahead just 6 months to July 21, 2008. He picks up 2 charges out of Madison County. Both of them are misdemeanors. One is possession of a controlled substance, and the other one was possession of drug paraphernalia. The first charge was dismissed, and he was found guilty on the second charge. He was given 180 days in jail with 90 days suspended, $935 fine, which he never paid, and 1 year of probation. So, I don't know. To me, I think the guy needed a little more jail time and all of that. So then we're going to go ahead to July 8th, 2010. He was charged with disturbing the peace, willfully disturbs a neighborhood. That was out of Bannock County, Idaho. He, right off the bat, he failed to appear, so a warrant was put out for him. The very next day he showed up. Must be he forgot he had court. The warrant was canceled. The very following week, he failed to appear again, and they put out a warrant for him. And over a year later, they ended up closing the case due to time limits, and so therefore he never got any disposition on that crime whatsoever. Then we're going to go ahead to July 9th of 2010. He's picked up again for drugs, possessing a controlled substance with the intent to deliver. And let's see, we've got 2 times 2, and that was a felony out of Bannock County, Idaho. He failed to appear, a warrant was issued, and 11 years later, they had court, and it looks like the motion hearing they had was to dismiss the case. But it does not say that it was. And we go ahead, 15 months to October 8th, 2011. He's charged with domestic violence assault, which was a misdemeanor out of Denver, Colorado. He was found guilty, given 1 year probation, $600 fines. He did not pay the fines. He still owes $420, and therefore we have a warrant that was put out for him on 2/21/2013, and that warrant is still valid as of June 5th, 2024. All right, we can go ahead, a year to, February 6th, 2012. He was charged with child abuse, negligently causing bodily injury, which was a misdemeanor out of Jefferson County, Colorado. He was found guilty, given 2 years probation, 180 days jail. 148 of those days were suspended, minus the 32 days he already had for time served. We go ahead just 4 months to June of 2012. He had a violation of probation. His probation was revoked, and he was sentenced to those 148 days in jail. The following month later, on March 2nd, 2012, he was arrested in Jefferson County, Colorado for protection order violation, which was a misdemeanor. Found guilty, given 60 days in jail, 53 days suspended, with a credit of 2 days that he had done. Seems to be he ran from Idaho in 2010 when he knew he was in a little bit of trouble. Went to Denver, Colorado, Jefferson County there. So they don't really know him. So, they're kind of giving him a little bit of a break there. Yeah, I don't know. Child abuse, protection order violation. That starts to say a lot about this guy. And on March 15th, 2012, he failed to appear in court, and that's where this warrant also came out of. And that warrant is still valid as of June 5th, 2024, that I looked up. And we're going to go ahead to May 6th, 2012, FTC, failure to complete his sentence for child abuse, failure to complete his sentence for probation violation, and he had a failure to appear. Previous probation sentences were revoked, and he was given jail time. That was down below that I had already explained that he was doing. Now, we're going to go ahead to May 31st, 2012, in Jefferson County, Colorado. He was arrested for stalking, repeat communication with an order of protection, a felony, stalking, emotional distress, protection order was valid, a felony, and he had 12 protection order violations, all misdemeanors. And then get this, they dismissed every single charge except for one protection order violation, all in a plea agreement to get him to plea to one count of protection order violation. He was given 2 years probation, $1,493 fine, and what did he do? He ran. So there's a 4-year gap here. I can't find. He lived in Utah. You lived in a couple of other places, but I can't find any crimes. So I find it hard to believe that he could behave himself for that long, especially looking at his history. But all right, on October 25th, 2016, he was arrested in Spokane, Washington for that warrant down below. Dismissed without trial. It must be Colorado refused to come and get him, I guess. So we're going to go ahead 7 years now. 7. And again, where was he during these 7 years? I mean, I can't find anything on him, though. If anybody knows where he was and what he was up to, please let me know. I looked in Iowa, I looked in Idaho, I looked in Utah, I looked in Washington, New York, Maryland. He's got a pass. He's been all over the country, but I couldn't find anything. Until on 8/26/2023, he committed a crime, and he wasn't indicted until February 9th, 2024. And he was indicted for attempt to commit a Class A felony, which is a felony, out of Malheur County, Oregon. And I know I'm not saying that right, and I know one of you guys out there is going to correct me, and I will appreciate that. His second charge, the same thing. It was committed on 8/26/23, 2/9/24 before he got indicted, and that was unlawful possession of a controlled substance, a misdemeanor. He had an arrest warrant that he did not get arrested on until January 9th, 2024, and he has a trial date set for January 13th, 2025. And we go ahead a year, August 6th, 2024. He was charged with interfering with a peace officer, which was a misdemeanor, out of Malheur, Oregon. And he has a hearing for that charge on January 8th, 2025. We've got some civil cases he had going on. Back in February of 2004, Brittany sued Kennedy for divorce, and that was finalized a couple months later. On May 5th, 2006, the Idaho State Department of Health and Welfare against Kennedy and Tricia. That was dismissed, but you go ahead just a month, or a few months, to February 16th, 2007. The Idaho Department of Health and Welfare sued Kennedy and Tricia again, and child support was established through Fremont County, Idaho, for their child. Now we go ahead 5 years to February 13th, 2012. A woman named Heidi sued Walker and that was for a protection order for domestic abuse, and it was granted for the plaintiff Heidi and 3 children out of Jefferson County, Colorado. So this is really starting to look, he's got some violence here against women, against children. This guy's a real winner. He's a real winner, and he's out here saying he's masquerading as a freedom fighter for our rights. He's nothing but a piece of shit. So we go ahead to May 21st, 2013, in the matter of guardianship, and there was 3 children that this was brought up about. Joseph was the parent of one of the children. Tricia is the mother of all 3 children, and Kennedy himself was a parent of one of the children. What happened was the court, due to, I'm going to guess, due to all the stuff that's been going on, the court awarded Dale, I blocked out his last name, was appointed the guardian of the 3 children. Then we go to November 16th, 2017. There was a judgment by the Department of Social and Health Services on Walker from Spokane, Washington, in the amount of $22,220. And I'll bet they're still holding their hand on their ass waiting for that money from this guy. So anyways, we've got the Kennedy Walker channel on YouTube here. Had to block out his name because God forbid, I'll end up getting privacy struck again. Blocked out his date of birth there, but he was born in 1984. He's living in Ontario, Oregon now. Got a couple phone numbers there for him. I don't know if either one of them are any good, but had to block those out because God forbid you don't want to, you don't want to upset the privacy gurus out there. Back on September 21st, 2023, he had 293 subscribers when I first found him. And as of today, 12/4/24, he's up to 583 subscribers. So in 15 months, he's gone up 250 subscribers or so. This guy has a bachelor's degree in business management from the Morgan State University. He's got a YouTube channel. He has a website, which is his name.site. And he's got a X channel, which is X and then his name here. And he's got a couple of email addresses here, kwalker332 and Kennedy Walker. And of course, I had to block that out because that's personal identifying information. And gosh, we don't want to piss off the YouTube bots. That right there is all that I could find on the Kennedy Walker channel for a criminal background. And really, that's, looking at what he has there, that's really actually quite enough to prove that Kennedy is out there doing what he does. Just another street thug and bully hiding behind the First Amendment to take out his anger on the system. And get this, Kennedy's Twitter page, as you see right here, he identifies himself either as an Oregon State or an Oregon Street crime detective. Ha ha! He freaking wishes. And get this, somebody turned me on to this. Well, not turned me on, they told me about it anyways. That Kennedy Walker channel has written a book that is up for sale on Amazon, and it's called Treason. Isn't it? He gives a dedication to his daughter, which you can see right here, says, "To my daughter that never got to know me as a casualty of the many wars against us and our families. May knowledge protect you and always be on your side." Well, you know what, Kennedy? Maybe your daughter being taken away from you is not because you are a victim, as you try to make yourself out to be. Maybe it has to do with all the domestic violence in the household. Maybe it has to do with the child abuse charges against you. Maybe it's all of the drug use and charges against you. Maybe stand up and take some freaking responsibility for all of your past. Maybe get the help you freaking need, man. Change your freaking future. I see his book as just another grift, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, look, he wants $20 for a book that looks like it has about 100 pages in it, according to the table of contents. And look at the just the info on the back cover of the book, that the man started arresting cops as an educational has an educational background in sociology. All right, I'm going to start over because I really screwed that all up. The man that started arresting cops has an educational background in sociology. I'm going to stop right there because Kennedy is delusional. He never arrested anyone. He never had any arrest powers because he was a convicted felon at 14 years old, and domestic battery convictions exempt you from ever carrying a firearm or having arrest powers under the Lautenberg Amendment. Does he think we're all idiots out here and we don't know the law? Plus, your degree there, Kennedy, is in business management, which has nothing to do with sociology, for God's sakes. Please, go get on some medication or something. Get yourself some help, man. You really freaking need it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, enough of the Kennedy Walker channel for now. I'll keep you updated on any information I find out on him. In the meantime, I'm very sorry to announce the death of another law enforcement officer here in the United States of America, bringing this year's total so far to 128 law enforcement officers killed in the line of duty so far this year. To all my brothers and sisters out there, please be careful. Be on your toes. Watch your six and the six of all your colleagues. Let's have no more deaths in this occupation for the rest of this year. And now, sadly, since my last video, we have had 2 more brothers or sisters commit suicide, taking their own lives because the demons were just too much for them. Could we have saved them if we had known? If we had just paid attention to the signs? Is there something that we could have done? Please keep an eye out. And I don't mean just for law enforcement. Everyone, keep an eye out on your friends, your family, your co-workers, and everybody else. If you notice something, say something. If you don't, you don't have to be a professional in suicide prevention to help someone out there. Ladies and gentlemen, please continue to back the blue like I know you do. We have a strong pro-law enforcement president coming into office soon. We have a bunch of liberal pro-criminal DAs getting the boot also. Hopefully, we will see some much-needed improvement in the treatment of law enforcement coming very, very soon. Now, thank you all for coming to watch this video. I sincerely hope you liked it. And if you did, you know that you'll hit the thumbs up button just to let me know. If you have your own channel, please feel free to mirror this video or share it so all of your subscribers will know more about the Kennedy Walker channel. If you're not subscribed to this channel yet, what are you waiting for? Please do so now before you leave so you'll see all of the great content as it gets posted in the future. There's so many more frauditors out there to expose for who they really, really are. Please help us grow our channel here. Tell someone you know, whether it be family, friends, coworkers, enemies, local cops. Tell anyone you know about the channel and help us grow. And that's all I have for you folks today. So until next time, y'all take care now.